Hello and welcome to Country Life Simple. Today I want to make some vegetable stock. I use vegetable stock a lot, not just to actually make stock for when I have soup or something, or some noodles or something like that, but I also use it to add it to my vegetables when I cook any kind of vegetables. It just gives it that additional flavor. So I've got a selection here of vegetables. I've got leek, I'll show you in a minute. I've got leek, I've got capsicum, I've got kale, carrots, mushrooms, onion and garlic, and I also have some herbs. You can use whatever vegetables you like. A lot of people use celery. I personally despise celery. I hate the taste of celery in anything, so I do not add it. Just add whatever you like. I really do like the taste of mushrooms and capsicum and that onion and garlic flavor. I like that. So when I, for example, now would cook some beans or something like that, I would add some of this vegetable stock, and it just gives it that extra flavor without adding anything else. So I'll show you what I do. So here are all my vegetables. Apologies for the headless shot. Obviously, I'm not the master videographer. I've got some leeks which I already washed, and I'm just going to put them in the Thermomix just to chop them up into small pieces. Once I chop everything small, I put it in my dehydrator and dehydrate it, and then I basically mix it all up. So the trick with leek is that you actually cut it halfway, so you get rid of all of the sand in between here. Little trick if you don't know yet. I'm using my Thermomix because that's good at chopping stuff up. And yes, I do want it fairly fine. The finer it is, the better I can dehydrate it later. So this is my leek. Then I use my onion. I'll chuck those two pieces from the leek in there. And my red onion, give it some color. And I add the garlic too. I just used a whole knob of garlic. And this now will sting in my eyes. I'll just take the leek outside. Like I said, I showed you how I spreaded this onto the tray. Depending on what sort of dehydrator you have, you might have to put some baking paper on. I normally don't worry about it. I cried a little from the onion. So we have some carrots. This goes to the chooks. And I often use vegetable scraps as well. If I have fresh vegetables out of the garden and I've got some scraps, I sometimes just put this in the freezer and use that. And I try to use vegetables with different colors, so it actually looks quite nice later on as well. And I also try to use vegetables which don't contain too much water. So, cabbages or zucchini or something like that, they contain a little bit too much water and they do not actually add a lot of flavor. So I do try to flavor some vegetables. Carrots, they make everything quite sweet. Thermomix, you gotta be sometimes a bit careful. It only takes seconds. Otherwise you have soup. You could also add some chili. I haven't really bothered with chili because I do have chili separate, and I don't really like chili on all of my dishes. Like I said, with the vegetables, just choose what you like. That is important. No celery for me. I'll show you the dehydrator later. It looks like a rainbow of colour. I normally would add some herbs as well, but I don't think I've got enough space in my dehydrator. I'll see if I can get a couple of twigs of basil and parsley put in these trays, just to give it that extra flavour. You could theoretically just cut the vegetables quite fine and then dehydrate and then mix it, but obviously that takes longer to dehydrate. So we had red, we had orange, we had white, a little bit of purple with the purple onion. We have green, yellowish of the leek. Now we have brown, and we've got the kale, which is not more green. With the kale, because the leaves are so fine anyway, I'm just going to add them to the dehydrator like that, and I'm just going to chop up the stems. Kale's got a lot of flavour. Well, I think at least it does. My husband would disagree. Oh, no, put the leaves in. Oh well. See, I already cooked with some of the leaves, and I just have the stems left over. So a lot of times when I make this, I just keep leftovers in the freezer, and then when I make my vegetable stock, take it out of the freezer, mix it all up, and one stem. Didn't want to get mixed. And this is going to be dehydrating. So we've got at the bottom, we've got the onions, the leek, the carrots, the capsicum, the mushrooms, and the kale. That's going to dehydrate until it's dry. As you can see, the leaves of the kale don't fit in there anymore. I'll see if I can dehydrate those together with some herbs in the oven. Otherwise, I'll have to dehydrate them afterwards.